This is gonna be a good one. Last time we talked about the Hourglass palette, Deer, Swan, and Fox. These are the palettes that first came out. Hourglass did a staggered release. So a few days later, they came out with Horse. How does it compare to the other three? Where does it sit? So I'm gonna do a full face with Horse. We're gonna swatch it. Every time that Hourglass drops their holiday palette, we're all confused. You're wondering, which one do I want to get? And now that we have a fourth one, well, this adds to the confusion, but I have a plan. This video is really going to help you figure out which one you want, which one is for you, and part of that plan is doing grouped swatches. That is something that you guys really liked last year. So I'm going to be swatching all of the blushes from all four palettes together side by side. Then I'll do the bronzers, then the highlighters, and so on, because it's when we have these shades together side by side that we can really spot the nuances in the color. So let's get started. Let's start with the Horse palette. The thing to know about Horse is that all of these shades are repeats. Think of it as some of Hourglass's greatest hits. We're gonna start with the bronzer. This is described as a golden bronze, but it's gonna be too warm. That's one thing that I don't want to see is orange bronzers. Get it on the forehead. Doesn't seem like this is gonna be as light as Deer is. Maybe it'll sit between Deer and Swan. Not too warm. Let's start with the blushes. First, Mood Exposure. This is a soft plum, and it is very soft. Mauve Fusion, super soft, easy, ideal, everyday shade. Without blush, with Mood Exposure on this side. We're gonna move on to the pink one. This is Iridescent Coral, which is a peony color. For this one, I can't see the sparkle. Yeah, you can see it there in the pan. Yeah, it has sheen and I'm seeing a little bit of sparkle. I can definitely spot those, both the specks of sparkle. You see that sheen, that pearlescence? Ooh, look at that glow. I didn't think that this was gonna give me that pearlescence, a golden sheen. I wonder what this one's gonna be. We have one more blush to go. How about we remove Mood Exposure? Base is back on. Iridescent Rose. What do we think? Is it gonna be shinier than the other side? This is described as a warm medium rose. Ooh, I love this one. This is more your everyday pink flush, but it does have that added glow. This is more coral with the gold glow, and this is more pink with champagne glow. Notice how in this area where I brought in the blush, it accentuated my pores and little bits of texture. So be aware of that, whereas this one doesn't seem to accentuate them as much. Now we're gonna try on the highlighter. So let me just reset. So highlighter for Horse. My plan was to wait until we did the grouped swatches to really take a look at the differences, but I want to know right now. The highlighter for Deer is super soft. Then we had Swan, and look how metallic that is in comparison. And then we had Fox. Look how metallic that is. Now let's check out Horse. What do we think? Metallic or soft like Deer? This is gonna be soft. Look at that. Let's see. Interesting. This is like the Deer version, but for light medium skin tone. Okay, but let me not get into the details of that too much and save that for the grouped swatches. What we're doing right now is trying on this highlighter. Is it showing up at all though? Oh, okay, hold on. Yes, I see it show up. Ooh, that is a delicate highlight. There it is now. I'm wearing the highlighter by itself here. There's no blush or bronzer. We're gonna move on to the finishing powder, which I doubt you'll be able to tell. You see how it disappears on my skin? But let's apply it anyway. I'm curious to see if we'll be able to see a difference here. Oh yeah, real life I absolutely can see that my skin looks more perfected, more seamless. Now let's use a Horse palette on the eyes and see what we get. Let's just take the bronzer and put that on the crease. Let's see what we get out of this bronzer. Oh yeah, perfect depth. Nice and simple. I don't think the highlighter is gonna give us anything on the eyes, but let's see. Subtle, everyday look. Totally. Here is Horse in its full glory. Notice the glow that my skin has. The soft glow. It's like this really flattering glow. Editing me here. I have to jump in and say, wow. Seriously, it's not until you see the before and after here side by side, and who's gonna take the time to do this if you're not a content creator? Do you do this? Do you film yourself and then put them side by side to see the difference? Anyway, this is on my cheeks. I'm wearing Mood Exposure on both cheeks, and also I put it over the bridge of my nose. I love the look. Overall, I like this palette more than I did before, now that I'm seeing the before and after. Very natural palette. Of course, we gotta see what it looks like in the car. This is great real life lighting. I think it looks wonderful. Now it's time for the grouped swatches. If you can't make up your mind, I think this will clarify things. Where does Horse sit finally? Is it the same depth as Swan? Let's get started swatching the blushes first. First, Dear. I always start at my mole here. So that's a coral one, and that is the pink one. I know some of you were wondering if Dear could be built up to suit a medium skin tone. No, for a medium skin tone, unless you like your blushes really soft. Okay, so this is Dear. Now Swan. So this is Luminous Coral, Sunset Flush, and then the purple is Mauve Fusion. Next, I'm gonna do Horse. So this is Mood Exposure. Notice how much softer it is than the purple in Swan. Iridescent Coral, which is this one. In pan, it looks identical, almost identical to Swan. Iridescent Rose. Now we're doing Fox. This is Lucid Glow. This is the peachiest of all of the blushes so far. Canyon Heat. This is an earthy terracotta. And finally, we have Amethyst Haze. This gets an F for Fox. So these swatches are grouped by palette. This is new, this is new. Horse, we know they're all repeats. And Fox, these are new as well, all of them. So new, new, new. Based on these swatches, this is a tough one. If you're trying to decide between Swan and Horse, based on the blushes, Horse gives you a softer plum. Both Swan and Horse gives you the sheeny blushes, the pearlescent ones. They both give you a coral blush. How Swan and Horse are about the same depth. I see more variety in colors here with the Swan. You see this one that is much peachier. This one is leaning a lot more coral and pink, and this one is definitely berry. Whereas this one is okay, fine. It's a soft mauve, but then these two are kind of similar, but we did see that the sheen here is gold and this one is more champagne-y. Here come the bronzers. Dear, Swan, Horse. Ooh, that's a lot more golden than Swan. Fox. So again, Dear, super soft bronzer. Swan and Horse seem to be of equal depth, but Horse is warmer than Swan. And then we have Fox, which is the deepest and has a little bit of red in it. Here go the highlighters. Dear, Swan, Horse, Fox. Dear is soft and ethereal. Then we have this metallic. Horse is very much like Dear, but a different tone. The base of this highlighter, it disappears into my skin, whereas Dear is a bit light for me. And then Fox has some copper, a metallic finish just like Swan. Time for finishing powders, starting with Dear. Dear is the only palette that has two of them. Swan, Horse, and Fox. If you're light medium like me and you're considering getting Dear, don't let these finishing powders dissuade you, because I know that they look light, but they sheer out. Look at that. They all disappear into my skin except for Fox. Now I'm going to do some express demos. These are going to be fast-paced, just things that you guys have asked me about. So, rapid fire. Metallic highlighters side by side on the eyes, Swan and Fox. Two of the purple blushes side by side, Mood Exposure from Horse versus the purple from Swan. Purple in Horse versus purple in Swan. Reset the cheek. Purple in Swan versus purple in Fox. There's a difference in tone and in finish. When it comes to the color, this is brighter. And the finish, there's a difference in glow here. Swan is more glowy. I would keep it away from enlarged pores. Here you're still getting some glow, but it's not as reflective. That's a purple's Fox and Swan. Reset the cheeks. Are the finishing powders in Deer too light for light mediums? This is dense brush. I am packing it on. It is not too light, and notice the glow. I think this glow is coming from this new shade, the marbled one, that has a lavender sheen. It does definitely work for my skin tone. So did we figure it out? Where does Horse fit in? I would say that it comes after Deer. So it's somewhere in between Deer, Horse, then Swan, and then Fox. For a minute there, I thought that Horse and Swan were going to be at the same level, the same depth level, intended for the same skin tones. But Horse is actually softer than Swan. I'm pretty happy with this conclusion. Definitely, this is the progression. And remember, if you already have a bunch of these palettes, there's the Hourglass Duplicate Detector website. You tell it which palettes you own, and it'll compare it to this 2025 Hourglass collection, and will tell you which shades are repeats to you. If you want to see full face demos of each of these three palettes, there's a video right here. Go check it out. I'll see you there.